Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming, and what better time to give a gift for remembrance that makes you laugh and cry at the same time? What a gift of grandma's recipes are just because those smiles and cheers will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw. Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809. That's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at themikewagnershow.com. Also on Amazon at the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, a lot more. Makes great gifts 24/7, 365. And also check out the Me and Molson-Zia store on Amazon for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles, and cool merchandise. Check out the Me and Molson-Zia store on Amazon and make sure you purchase today. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, as well as PayPal, and also the MikeWagnerShow.com, and make sure you donate generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who's a filmmaker, an award-winning filmmaker based in New York City. And it's about the life of a renowned New York City boxing trainer. Francisco Mendez rose from the humble beginnings to open a famous boxing gym in New York City. And we'll talk about that. But of course, he unfortunately died of COVID-19 during the New York City 2020 shutdown. And he's currently a producer on Last Call, which is COVID-19. He's also had some award-winning films like The Return, a documentary about former Pittsburgh Steelers running back Rocky Blair when New York City was won, and Yankee Mets 2000 Subway Series. A big baseball fan, and live from the U.S. Open in beautiful downtown New York City, a big sports fan, ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented filmmaker, Bryan Brosseau. Bryan, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
How's it going, Mike? How are you?
Well, I'm doing great. And of course, you're at the U.S. Open as well, too. And tell us what's happening out there before we get started.
Well, we just saw Federer win his match. Kerber just won her match. But more importantly, that everybody's recovering from the floods last night.
Oh, my gosh. Yes. And oh, wow. That's been all over the news. And we applaud you guys for getting some of the U.S. Open. And despite all the torrential rains, the floods and everything. And one of my good friends who's been on my show a lot, Alan Gittin, he showed me some footage of what was it, Somerset Ballpark, the home of the Yankees minor league farm team. It looks like a massive swimming pool out there. I went, oh my gosh.
It's I don't think I can't remember the last time New York's gotten that much rain in that short a period of time. But there was massive flooding everywhere. There was very high winds, at least 30 miles per hour. It was so much so here at the Open that on the Armstrong court, they couldn't play, even though they had a roof. The sun was the rain was coming in sideways, so they couldn't play anymore. So it was quite the scene here last night. The whole crew, and I'm sure patrons got stuck here because there was no way to get out. Grand Central Parkway was flooded. All the perimeter roads were flooded. So it was a bit of a challenge for everyone yesterday.
Wow. That was something. Of course, feel free to give us some updates as well too from the U.S. Open. But most importantly, you also are an award-winning filmmaker based in New York City, and you also have a movie called Everything But Fear. It's about the life of renowned New York City boxing trainer Francisco Mendez. He's got a great story out there, and you also did The Return, the documentary about Rocky Blair when New York was won, and also the Mets 2000 Subway Series, and a lot more. And before getting to all that, Bryan, tell us how you first got started.
Yeah, first I got into filmmaking when I went to film school at Long Island University here in New York. Uh, I went to film school wanting to learn about filmmaking. I focused on cinematography, which is most of the projects that you talked about. I'm the cinematographer on. And then, yeah, I just stuck with it, focusing on cinematography for the most part. And yeah, that's how I got my start.
Wow, that is something. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your life?
Man, I think it was just taking the courses at film school. Like I really enjoyed working with the camera, experimenting with the camera. When I went to film school, all we did was shoot film. We weren't shooting video back then, so like it was just I really loved shooting film, learning about it, and then seeing what happened once you got the film developed.
Mm-hmm. And who are some of your favorite photographers and also directors growing up?
My favorite films were by Terrence Malick. Films like Days of Heaven, uh, Badlands. Like I really enjoyed watching those films. And some of the cinematographers I really enjoyed are Vilmos Sigismund, Vittorio Storaro, Roger Deakins. Like I really like those guys.
Mm-hmm. And then how about some of your other favorite movies as well?
Hmm. I like Francis Ford Coppola's films, Rumblefish. I like the Godfather films.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Wow.
Those films are filmed by a cinematographer who's actually from where I'm from in New York. So I really enjoy Coppola's films. I enjoy Spike Lee films. Um, yeah, like I like a cross section of films.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you're also not just a filmmaker, but also you also won some National Sport Emmy Awards as well too, an Edward Murrow Award and a New York Press Award, and you also had Dream On, Stories of Boston's Strongest, The Courage Game, and Tragic State, The Return, and also yeah, it's about a documentary about Rocky Blair. Maybe you can just tell us about those some of those sports films.
Yeah, like the Rocky Blair film, which I was cinematographer on. It was produced and directed by John Fish. We thought was a great story. Like it was a story that hadn't been told completely. Not many people knew about Rocky's service in Vietnam. They knew about his career with the Steelers and all the championships he won with them, but a lot of people didn't know that he was injured in Vietnam, and yeah, like, and it's a miraculous comeback story. I think people should watch that film. I think it's on ESPN Plus, and people could check it out there. It's just an amazing story of, and it shows a lot about how the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, Art Rooney at the time, you know, how he ran his organization. Like Rocky Blair signed, he got drafted, didn't get try to get out of serving in Vietnam, went to Vietnam, got injured twice. He got shrapnel from an explosion. I think he got shot as well.
Oh
Had
wow.
a massive injury to come back from, but the Steelers supported him. Art Rooney sent him a postcard when he was in a hospital in Japan and said, "Hey Rocky, we need you. Please come back." So it motivated his rehab. They stuck by him. They put him on the practice squad for 3 years, and he was able to come back physically. They gave him a chance, and then all that goodwill and patience, propelled them to those 4 championships in a row in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I remember watching Rocky Blair back in the day too, like with Franco Harris, Terry Bradshaw, what was it, Jack Ham, and I think there was also Oh my gosh. And of course, Mike Wagner was on the Pittsburgh Steelers too. It's like, not to be confused with Mia, of course. And remember the days of the Steelers as well too. And you also had the Yankees Mets 2000 Subway Series. And of course, we talked about as well too. And you've been a Mets fan for quite some time. And of course, Yankees have won like 12 in a row. And I thought, this has been shaping up to be a fairly good season. I mean, boy, this has been interesting.
Yeah, I thought that this season or the 2000, well, the 2000, people should watch that. I was the director of photography and when New York was won. And it's just a great story by Aaron Cohen about what it was like in the city at that time. And obviously, whenever the Yankees or the Mets make it to a World Series, the city is on fire. That people love it. It's like, despite, the Jets, Islanders, Rangers, Giants, Knicks, it's basically a baseball town. So whenever the Yankees or the Mets are in the World Series, it's magic. And when you had both those teams together in 2000, it was unbelievable. And of course, being a Mets fan, I wish the series was a little bit better, but they should check out the documentary. It's a really good look at what happened during that 2000 series.
And then with you being a baseball fan, who do you think's going to make the World Series this year?
I'd hate to say it, but probably the two worst teams that I could possibly think of. Possibly the Atlanta Braves, which are rivals with the Mets, and then the Yankees. So I'm not happy about any of that.
I don't think many of us are happy either as well, too. And of course, I look at these standings every day being a Cub fan, and I look at like the White Sox have the best record in the American League and Milwaukee. It's like, God forbid they're running away with the division. And if those two win at it, and of course, maybe Yankees will knock off the White Sox, and if the White Sox and Brewers were at it, I'm like, who do you really root for? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't root for any of those teams.
No, you certainly. Well, speaking of sports as well, too, we'll talk about the Everything But Fear in just a minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even been endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. A wet bear time. Give a gift for remembrance. It makes you laugh and cry all at the same time. Whatever gift for grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at the Mike Wagner Show. Don't forget to check out the merchandise at themikewagnershow.com. Also on Amazon.com, the Mike Wagner Show podcast. Check out the t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, a lot more. Makes great gifts 24/7, not just Christmas time, but year round. And don't forget to check out the Mia Molson-Zia store at Amazon for great books, hoodies, t-shirts, and a lot more. And check it out, Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. And of course, the merchandise is just going fast and just going through the roof. So make sure you order today before this guy runs. And don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with award-winning filmmaker based in New York City, Bryan Brosseau, here on the Mike Wagner Show. He's live from the U.S. Open, and he gave us an update on one of the matches, and give us another update you have, or maybe just what happened during the day.
Well, we're looking forward today for Novak's match coming up in the night match at US Open on Arthur Ashe. He lost a set in his first match early this week. So he's going for the career Grand Slam. So even if you're not a tennis fan, you should pay attention to this because it's not something that happens every day. I don't think the last time they had a career Grand Slam for anybody was maybe Steffi Graf.
Was it really?
I
Wow.
don't know. The last man to have it was in the 60s. So what Novak Djokovic is attempting to do here at this US Open is historic. So people should pay attention.
And I think rightly so too. And of course, the one tennis player I think of, I thought he might be along the lines. Maybe I'm wrong. Roger Federer, and it seems I thought he'd be going for history too. But Djokovic, like, oh my gosh, what a phenomenon!
Yeah, I think at this point, like he was going for his 21st Grand Slam
Wow.
this tournament. So he would have broke out of the tie with Nadal and Federer. Federer and Nadal are not at the US Open this year due to injury. But yeah, if Novak achieves a career Grand Slam at this tournament, I think no one can question that he's the greatest of all time.
So he will win number 21, and then Nadal and Federer were they at number 19 or 20? How many?
They're at 20. They're all tied at 20 right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I remember back in the day as well, too. It's like, going back like Bjorn Borg and then you had Billy Connors and you also had, oh gosh, I'm trying to think some of the other people too. So that's a flashback. So,
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. So, but if anybody is a tennis fan or a sports fan, they should tune into this US Open.
Mm-hmm. And certainly as well too. And of course, speaking of sports, you also got a new movie y'all called Everything But Fear. It's about the life of renowned New York City boxing trainer Francisco Mendez rose from humble beginnings to open a famous boxing gym in New York City. I mean, this is just inspiring. Watch the trailer of it and tell us more about it and what inspired you to produce Everything But Fear.
Yeah, so the film, which is playing at Dances with Films September 7th in at the Hollywood Theaters in Hollywood, at the Dances with Films Film Festival. It's a short film documentary about Francisco Mendez, who came from a small town in Pueblo region of Mexico, started out as a boxer, had dreams to become a professional boxer, tried many years to become one, but then decided to come to New York and try see what his career could do in New York City. He turned to training to survive, and then he found out how much he loved it. So then his dream was to open his own gym, a Mexican style gym. He opened it, called Mendez Boxing, grew it from location to location around Madison Square Garden, and it turned out to be one of the best gyms in New York City. Boxers from all over would come to train there when they fought at the Garden. Mike Tyson, De La Hoya, all famous boxers will come there before their fights to train. And locals, amateur boxers, local professionals, Golden Glove fighters would all train at Mendez. So it was a wonderful gym he created that was, you could go in there and see professional boxers, you could see amateurs, you could see average Joes, you could see women, men. It was just a wonderful place that he created, all for teaching the art of boxing. So he was just an inspirational figure to everyone that knew him. So when he passed away to COVID, myself, people, members of the gym knew we had to honor him in some way. So we started out doing some interviews, not knowing his whole backstory, coming from the small town he came from, not knowing that he overcame cancer, not knowing the inspiration he had to the community and around the gym. But it turned into a good short film. So what you see in Everything But Fear is his inspiring story. It's a story about community. It's an American dream story. And if you like boxing, there's some nice boxing stories in there. And I think people will enjoy the film.
Mm-hmm. And how's his way of training different from everybody else's, and the way he ran the gym? How's it different from other gyms?
Yeah, I think it came from where he came from. So in Puebla, in Mexico, and also in Mexico City, where he also trained, boxing gyms and in Mexico are like community places. They're places to go to hang out. Everybody's welcome. It's not just for professionals. So, he wanted to take that style of gym, create it, while also teaching Mexican style boxing that you would find with the great Mexican champions, Julio Cesar Chavez, for instance. Come forward, be aggressive, move your head, but always be the aggressor, command the ring. So he taught Mexican style boxing. Everybody learned it in his gym, and he created this wonderful atmosphere. But it wasn't just for, professionals or young boxers. One of the great things he did was it became a haven for, boxing trainers as well. So he would take old boxing trainers, people who have dedicated their lives to the sport, and he would give them the place to apply their trade. So he created this wonderful community that even though the gym is closed right now, it's looking to relocate due to the pandemic. The community is very strong, and I'm sure the gym will reopen.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm sure the gym reopens as well too. It'd be a great place to go. And also too, that I want to find out that how can people get in, and does it require a membership, and also anything too that can anybody just walk in and just learn to box?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like it was a welcoming gym. People could just walk in. You could sign up for a membership. You could practice yourself, but then all these wonderful experienced trainers would be there to give you pointers. So it was a wonderful place for people to learn boxing, to experience it, and then you might be doing training yourself, or you might be with a trainer, and then in the ring you'd see a professional boxer training and sparring. So it's a wonderful place that they created.
Mm. And it does sound amazing as well too. And where can we find Everything But Fear at, and also your other movies like The Return, When New York Was One, Yankee Mets, 2000 Subway Series, and more? Where can we find all your works at?
Yeah, When New York Was One, you probably can find it on Fox Sports on demand. The Rocky Blair story, The Return, should be on ESPN Plus. And Everything But Fear is now on the festival circuit. It's currently going to play at Dances with Films on September 7th at the TCL Chinese Theaters in Hollywood.
And that's amazing. We're looking forward to it. And there's also another one too. You're also currently a producer on Last Call as well, too, involving COVID-19. And tell us more about that.
Yeah, it's funny because Last Call we were filming at the time during the pandemic in March and April here in New York, when New York was really getting hit by the pandemic. So we were filming that documentary about what was going on in the city. And then we chose to focus on the bars closing, livelihood of friends that we knew. And while we were filming that documentary, we found out that Mendez Boxing, which I had been a member of, was closed. And that's where I found out that he had died, because there were flowers and notes on the door of the gym.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how the both documentaries intertwined. We were filming Last Call, which is now on Google Play, YouTube Movies. It's going to be on Roku and Apple TV soon. We were filming that documentary, but then we came across Francisco dying, and we wanted to honor him and pay him respect with Everything But Fear. So that's how Everything But Fear came to be.
Okay. And you also said too, you're also a member of the gym as well too. How long have you been training at the gym?
I trained for the gym about a year. A few years ago, I had stopped training because I had moved away. But yeah, it's just anybody that knows about Mendez Boxing, and it had a good reputation because, like I said, professional boxers would come into town and then go back to their other gyms, but they knew about Mendez. So it was just one of the top boxing gyms in the country, and it had a great reputation.
Are you looking to become a boxer one day, or just simply just condition?
Oh, no. Yeah, I was just going to the train. I was not trying to be a boxer for sure.
I probably just fall over flat too if I tried.
Exactly.
And what's coming up for award-winning filmmaker Bryan Brosseau? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at SoundCloudStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Full Books. Remembering's a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. We'll be back with award-winning filmmaker Bryan Brosseau of Everything But Fear after this timeout. We're back with the amazing award-winning film director based in New York City, Bryan Brosseau, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talked about the upcoming movie Everything But Fear, playing at the Dances with Films in September. Also talked about the return, about the documentary Rocky Blair, When New York Was Won, Yankees Mets 2000 Subway Series, and just an amazing guy to talk about. And what's the latest from the U.S. Open before we wrap up here?
Diego Schwartzman won last night despite the flooding and the torrential rains in a great match. Today, what's going on? Tsitsipas won. The Greek Freak, he won last night. Zverev, Alexander Zverev, he sweeped it. He looks very good. He could challenge Djokovic during this tournament. And Ashley Barty on the women's side is going to be the favorite, I think, this year at the U.S. Open. This would be her first championship if he could do it.
Wow. And we're certainly looking forward as well, too. And of course, Djokovic is going for number 21. So this can be a very historic moment witnessed by Bryan Brosseau here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a few more minutes. We'd love to be back on in 2021 beyond as well, too. Well, what else can we expect me in the future, Bryan?
Well, I don't know. I just hope people check out Everything But Fear at the Dances with Films Film Festival and check out Last Call. It's now on Google Play, YouTube Movies, Tubi, and Apple TV. If you check out Last Call, you'll see really what New York went through during the pandemic last year.
Okay, we're certainly looking forward to that. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
I have a lot of influences. One is Matty Hill. He's a great cinematographer from Australia. Richard Sweeney from London, England, based in Brighton. Chris Howard, he's based in Watford, England. And one of my favorite people to work with is Adam Mills in New York.
That is an amazing lineup. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say if you want to make a film, just go do it. You don't have to, especially a documentary. If you have the inkling of what a film you want to make, a story you want to tell, go for it. Don't hesitate. You might not know what the whole story is at the moment, but you'll find out. And that's the best part about it.
And I think that's amazing as well, too. Very good advice, Bryan. Once again, we're with Bryan Brosseau, the award-winning filmmaker, director based out of New York City with Everything But Fear on the Mike Wagner Show, live from the U.S. Open. Bryan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. Once again, tell us about your upcoming project. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your works?
Thank you so much. And thanks for having me, Mike. I appreciate it. Everything But Fear is playing at Dances with Films Film Festival, September 7th. Go to the website, everythingbutfear.com, to see where to get tickets, and also the Dances with Films Film Festival website. There's a lot of great films playing there, and go check them out.
We certainly would do so. Once again, Bryan, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date, and looking forward to having you on in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. You've been absolutely terrific, and we definitely wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.